Welcome to 8-Bit Rewind. So today I'm going to take you through this bit of a gem of a game called Tower Factory. It is a combination of your standard tower defense, but with this particular one, they've also thrown in automation in there as well. Automation is not something that I'm overly familiar with, but it has definitely been something that I've been interested in, and this just ticks all those boxes for me. So one thing I guess you'd be aware of, we've got upgrades. Now, I have unlocked every single upgrade available at this moment. The only things that I don't have is the mystery prize, I guess, for defeating boss 3 and 4. So you'll get these gold coins. Each one of these will be valued at a certain coin, and then you can unlock them. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go through the original map, just as it's fairly easy to get started, and talk you through everything that we need to do. So first thing, with the upgrades that I've got a much larger starting area, so I can see a lot more when I start. You're going to find these chests around, which are going to give you resources that you can use to get you going started on. There is another chest available that you will find throughout the map that'll give you gold. Now, the first thing we need to do initially is we've got to start getting our wood and getting our stone. They are the most important things to get going at the moment. So you'll start off with your wood chopper, rotate that. What I will then do is go to the main menu. We're going to get this to span out into 3 different areas. It's all going to come into a nice single one there. And I like just to make that you can just click, drag, and drop. If you make a little mistake like that, you can just delete it and we can keep going. All right, so that'll get the trees going from that particular area there. Tend to want to hurry up a little bit when I do this. All right, happy with that one at the moment. We'll swing around here. Middle mouse button allows you to rotate. Let's get some stone. Okay, you can manually get the resources. Just hold down your right mouse button and we'll get this up. So initially when you get some towers out, you do have 2 to start with, but it's not going to be enough to get going. Each tower costs 50 wood. Now with this here, as soon as our time rolls around, this is when we're going to get some of the enemies start to come through, some of the creeps. I do like to spread my towers out a little bit just to give me a bit of breathing room. Now that those 4 are there, this will take care of this for a little while. And I can then just focus on tidying up these particular towers here. So you want to try and get as much of the raw resources as you can, but at the same time, we need to start looking at expanding upon that. So that's when we're going to start getting in with our sawmills and our stonemason. So the sawmill will allow us, in this instance here, we can make the wooden stakes or we can make the planks. I'm going with the planks to start with. Okay, same with the stone. The stone will then allow you to, once we catch up, you'll see the resource amounts are there. So we'll just get some manual ones for now. Okay. So this will let us know that we can, do the bricks or the slabs. So at the moment, the bricks are what we want. Now I do have the spare slot in here, so I'm going to use that for more wood because we will need that. Okay, so now that'll just take care of itself at the moment. It's all automated as the game suggests. Now, one thing that you guys will need to understand is that in order to get rid of the fog, you'll start off with these little bonfires, and you can see here down the bottom that there's a wood requirement and there's a stone requirement, okay? And then every time you kill, you'll also get your light, okay? So right now we don't have enough to build. This here, just click on it. It'll tell you there's a few different ones. One, the speed, range, and damage. I tend to use these for my larger towers, such as the ballista and the catapult. So now that nighttime's coming around, nighttime is when no more enemies are going to spawn, and then as soon as you kill those particular enemies, you're off and running again for the next day. So we can now do a bonfire. So I always like initially to do one close up near where the road is, just so that way I can get a little bit more viewing there, so that the range of the towers can actually do it. And you'll notice it doesn't do a lot, but it's enough to get you going, and that's unfortunately what you're going to be stuck with to get going. Otherwise, you know, there is the ability to then do the much larger one, but as you can see, it requires the stone there, as well as the timber planks, and it does require a significant more amount of light. So we'll wait for that to happen. Okay, day's kicking on over, it'll reset, it'll show us that where the new enemies are going to start coming from again. The idea is that you want to find the light towers. Okay, so initially that's what you want to do. Okay, again, not enough resources, so we don't have enough stone, so we then need to try and rectify that issue and get some more stone. So we've got this here. Okay, we can go out here, but it's kind of a bit skewiff at the moment. So what I will do in this instance is I'm going to put another one of these here. I will put a stone here and run it straight in. Now, stone itself is an important resource to get going without having to worry about refining it into anything else, just because that's going to be what a lot of your upgrades are going to use and what the catapults will use as well. Catapults do your splash damage. They're fantastic for the low-level creeps, especially when they group up. Your ballista is fantastic for taking out enemies who have shields, and the shields are represented by a yellow bar, and the health is represented by the red bar. Now, if I wanted to upgrade the towers, you'll see that there's a green bar down the bottom here. Okay, this does indicate as to what point you can upgrade that tower. Okay, you'll get the ability to upgrade this here. You can see that it does require stone. This particular one here will damage and slow the enemy as well. And again, it requires just wood and stone. So with the waves as being what they are, it's not going to take too much to kill them. I don't need to go crazy in regards to the defense. But what I will do here is, you can probably see here, there's something poking out there. So let's go have a gander. And we've got our first light tower. Okay, so we'll take our reward. We'll take our light. All right, you want to find a minimum of 3 of these. Okay, there will be 5 per map. Now, I'll show you the difference between the little one and the big one. Okay, so you can now see there's a lot more here that I'm able to then take care of as well. So now the mobs are starting to come in a little bit quicker, a little bit more grouped up. So now we might want to start looking at getting something else in. So we can start off with a ballista, which we don't have enough for. So we're just waiting on the planks to come on through. So we might need to start looking at speeding that up. We've got 2 there already. The way this one's set up here, I can't put anything there. I can on this one here though. So let's go ahead and take care of that. And that should speed those things up there. One other thing we can look at doing as well is we'll just add another one of these here. Okay, get some more going. And as you progress further, there'll be more and more different types of resources available to you. So the builds for your automation can get quite complex. So being able to plan those out in advance when you're looking at your terrain and everything like that is also quite handy. So this little fella here, as you can see, he's got the yellow bar. So we really need to take care of him. You can see here, one hit from the ballista, auto done that. Now, one thing I really do like about this game as well is we can set a priority to what they want to do. So we can see that this guy here does have a bonus to yellow, which is your shields. So we'll change that to shields. Add a few more towers in there now as we are starting to get a little bit bogged down, which means I need to start focusing a little bit more on some extra defense to come along. Now these guys here, as you can see, they're at 100%. So let's go ahead and do some upgrades. So again, we're still running quite low on stone. So what we can do, we can look at adding another one in here. Or we can go down to about here. It's still there. Okay. We'll add another one of these here. Actually, I might add it there. Right, we seem to be holding these guys off fairly easy, so no need to really stress about that at the moment. Do want to get some more wood. Just to bolster that up a little bit. Okay, you can see this one here is also speed, same as this one here. All right, we'll go ahead, expand a little bit more. Okay, we've got another crystal there. We'll take those. We'll take that. So it can become quite taxing when it comes to having to just wait for things. Like I said, you can just click on the things and just manually get the resources that you need as well. Wood is a lot quicker to get than stone. Stone, as you see, takes 3 hits to get a single stone. Just wait. Okay, this guy's good overall there, so we'll just let it, I just like to leave it normal, but you can change the priorities, a few different ones here. Purple are the shields for the magic guys. Okay, first target priority with less health, armor, or shield. It tends to do what it wants to do, but you can make these changes as you see fit. So I do like to change that up a little bit because I don't always want the catapult to be hitting the front of everything to start with, just because it'll keep doing that. And if you've got a build up of creepers coming from behind, it's going to not hit those ones in favor of hitting the ones at the front. And because I've got extra defense down here, I don't need this guy to focus on that. So with this particular one here, I do like to get it to focus on the ones, that have the best health. So what I want to do as well now is I want to start upgrading, getting some more stone. Get these good old bricks going. And as you can obviously tell, we're on day 3 and everything is starting to speed up a little bit more. The longer it goes on, the faster and the more groups that pop along, as well as the new units will start to then be deployed by the boss as well. Now you will get upgrades for your main towers as well. So here you've got your regular upkeep there. So this one here is what you'll start with. You can then later on move into explosive. Same with the catapult as well. You've got your standard one here, which is just more damage, or you got one here that does more damage, but it also does fire damage, which is fantastic. So now something I want to focus on as well is these guys here. So the wooden stakes I need in order to do a few decent upgrades. So we can upgrade him. Now you can sell these guys here as well. You just highlight it and hit F on your keyboard and it will sell that item on you. You'll get some of the resources back that you spent, but not all of them. So we can now see that these particular creepers did sneak through, but hey, thankful for the catapult, which just had its upgrade done, increased range and damage. We'll do a little bit more looking around. Oh, didn't realize I didn't have enough there. So what I want to do is I want to get a little bit more wood going on. This is just not doing it for me. Get some more planks going. Alright, I had no idea until I did that, so to be all fair, that was a waste of resources for that particular one, but you don't know where you're orientated on the particular map as to what that is. But now I know, I can then move forward and do a little bit better unveiling of the fog. All right, here we go. Next wave's coming on through. Now the good thing is you can just simply drag and drop to your, I guess, quick bar. You can lock it, unlock it. You can have more than one. You can have quite a few, to be honest, 8 there. So this is one of the perks that you get when you defeat one of the first 2 bosses, is that you're able to then start making trades for resources. So things are moving in a lot quicker, but again, we're still okay. Quite happy to just sit by this at the moment. So we won't have any issues here at the moment. These guys are still fairly easy to take care of. Get some more bricks going on there. So we have an aerial opponent now. So now what we can do, if you wish, is we can switch here and we can get a very specific um, defense tower that takes care of the flying creatures only. So I'm going to add 2 more of those, take care of that. What we might do is, we don't have it now, but we might get enough soon for one of these hidden spikes, which does a phenomenal amount of damage to ground units. I do like to spread things out a little bit. Like I said, hunker in a little bit down here, hunker in some more down here, so that way you can kind of take care of it. If you have everything in the one area, it's quite easily for the enemy to overwhelm you, and then you're left with no resources at the end to try and defend. You can see on the left-hand side there that I'm only using 14 of my 40 allocated towers. I've got my light there. That also tells me how many light crystals I found as well. Okay, so it's a fairly small map on this one here to start with, so I don't need to focus anywhere other than moving up. And there's our third one. So now all we need to do is find the enemy boss's tower, which you just basically follow the road. Now, every time an enemy does make it through, just like any other standard tower defense game, you will have issues with your health overall. You cannot recover the health, so you do need to try and take care of them as you go along. So what I might do now, if I've got enough resources, is I'm going to build another catapult. This time, this one here does have a faster hit rate, which is going to be great. Alright, so I've got this under control, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait until the resources are at a level where I can use another one of these guys here. I can't remember the name. But I need 25 here, and I need 30 wooden planks. I'm going to stick it right here. collect our resources as we go. Okay, come back down. Let's have a bit of a look around, see what's going on. Everything's looking okay from a standpoint here. They're all looking good. So are these guys. Get some more planks going. You do want to try and space your conveyor belts as best as you can because you will get congestion. So having them a little bit longer, utilizing a few more different methods like this one here in order to get things out and in is always going to be beneficial because it will stop congestion, especially when you start looking at larger builds. Alright, let's grab the last of our boxes. Let's finish off this guy. Fantastic. So look, guys, thank you very much for having taken some time out and having a look at this. If you can just like and subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks, guys.